Hey, this is Donna Durante Miller of the New Elroy Bar DC, and you're listening to Wow.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Melissa, and you're listening to Wild, where we discuss unconventional norms of lifestyle, career, and world points. On Wild, people discuss their journey to becoming wild. Hosted and curated by me, Melissa Witherspoon. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wild. On today's guest, we have this amazing woman. Like, I know I always say, our guests are really phenomenal, but this one is really phenomenal. So today we have Miss Donna Durante Miller, owner of Miss Donna. It's a long list. Miss Donna, can you tell them the list of things you own?
Owner of the New Elroy Bar DC, located at 1423 H Street Northeast, Washington DC. Owner of Durante Rum, which is very well known now in the DMV.
Yes, it is.
And the owner of Organic Cuts Barbershop in Capitol Heights, Maryland.
Yes. Oh, yeah. She owns all that, and she's probably working on a fourth business as we speak. But you know how Miss Donna rolls. But thank you. So, Miss Donna, how did you become this? Let's take it all the way back. So we know you were born and raised in Puerto Rico, and then you moved to, what was the next island?
New York.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you came to Howard University in the 80s, majoring in
microbiology.
Mm-hmm. And that was the route you was going to go into.
Yes, I wanted to become a nurse. I wanted to be a nurse. My parents wanted me to be a doctor.
Okay.
They were like, shoot for the stars, become a doctor. If you can't be a doctor, become a nurse. But midway through there, I wanted to do forensics.
Okay. Why forensics?
I just really got interested in the crime scene type situation. So I wanted to go into forensics and got an opportunity to do that with the police department. But it didn't work out quite as I planned because you have to do street time and so forth. You can't just go directly into forensics.
Okay.
You have to actually become an officer and do street time and academy and all of that, which I went through everything, but I decided that that wasn't what I exactly wanted to do. So I moved on, had several jobs. I worked at Chevy Chase Bank. I worked at Heck Company, Walpoff and Abramson as a senior paralegal. I went back to school to go into nursing. And in the process of all of that, an opportunity presented itself for me to own a bar.
So let's go into that, because how do you
took me all totally, I don't know. I was having a conversation about a bar that I was hanging out at, and really enjoying myself. This was like my spot, my weekly hangout spot, me and my friends. And the owner pretty much said that he wasn't going to be able to handle the bar anymore. He wanted to move on to some other things. The bar was kind of restricting him.
Okay.
And I was like, you can't get rid of the bar. You can't sell the bar. This is where we hang out. What are we going to do? And he said, buy it. Oh, I was like, buy the bar? I don't know what to do with a bar. I just like to be upstairs in the bar, not the owner of the bar. So I kind of was like looking around. I said, well, how much does a bar cost? Like, how much would it cost? And he threw out a number. I threw out another number, just being, funny. Right. And he said, sold. I'll meet you at the bank tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I think I just bought a bar. And he's like, and it comes with all the staff and everything. And I was like, I don't,
So you tell me you inherited basically a bar? Like, basically one day you woke up, you was a normal Black woman in the world that didn't know nothing about entrepreneurship. And then you came in the next day, talk your talk, and then you got in
and
this?
I own a bar, right. So Now, going back, my mom owned a travel agency. My mom was born in the Caribbean, and she was always independent, but she always worked a 9 to 5 and had a travel agency and a cleaning company on the side. So my thing was I never wanted to work for myself. Like a lot of my friends have always said, I want to work for myself. I never wanted to. I wanted to be a 9 to 5. I know that I have a guaranteed paycheck and this is what I'm working with, and I don't like any surprises. If I put in my 40 hours, I want to get 40 hours of pay out of that. And that's just kind of how life was going to be. And I did start a little business on the side doing baskets. I was doing gift baskets and so forth, but it became a job. Like ended up getting a contract. Somebody saw the basket, gave a basket away, and somebody saw my card on it and contacted me, and I got a contract with some hotels doing gift baskets. So here I am raising kids. When I get home from work, get the kids straight, homework, everything. Once they're to bed, I am making baskets because they were picking up the baskets at 5 a.m. and delivering them to the hotel. So when you go to a hotel and you order a birthday basket or something and they have them there so I said, this is not fun anymore. Like, it was fun when I was just making them for friends and so forth. When it became a job, I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this. When I had orders coming in, like 30 orders for gift baskets, then I didn't want to do it anymore.
So, Miss Donna, if it seems like literally you're the type that you be having a good time and somebody come and be like, oh my God, that's a genius idea. And then next, you're the boss.
Exactly. And so I wasn't too thrilled about that. And people was like, you're not going to keep doing the bet? No. I mean, I'll do it if you really push the issue, but no, I don't. I'm on to other things now. So I decided to write a book. Well, I decided to write a short story. I went to a club and they had a little booklet at the front of the club and it had some short stories.
Yes.
And I was like, this is really cute. They would tell me that they put out this little booklet once a month, and it was a magazine called Female, and it was for this lesbian club. So I was reading the stories. I was like, oh, these are really neat. I said, I got some stories in my head I can put down. So I started writing the short stories for the magazine.
Hold on. Miss Donna, you're like a cat. You have lived 9 lives. This is crazy. Hold on.
So I wrote the story, and then people kept asking for more. They kept asking for more, but it's supposed to just be a short story. So every month I was submitting in my story to this magazine, and every month people were coming up and saying, I need to know what happened. No, that was it. That was the short story. So I ended up talking to somebody who was an author, and I said, it's amazing how you have these books that you've been writing, because all I can do is write short stories.
Right.
And he said, no, you can actually write a book. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a short story. You can expound on everything from every character. And I was like, no. And I sent him the short story. And he said, I'm going to tell you how you do it. You just expound on this person's problem. Next thing I know, I wrote a book.
Hold on, Miss Donna. No. Okay, this is a lot. Okay, so these are I did my research, but I did not know you was an author. I did not know you had contracts by hotels. Okay. Where can people get this book?
It's on Amazon. It's called Cashmere Rain.
Okay.
My pen name is Precious Durante.
Okay.
So I wrote the book just to see if I could do it.
Okay.
And I did. It was on the bestsellers list. And it's fiction. It's a fictional novel, but I left it as a cliffhanger. Okay. So it's urban fiction.
Sequel coming up?
The book came out in 2016.
Okay.
So I was supposed to write the sequel, and I actually have written it. I just haven't released it.
Wow.
And every time I look at it, I change it a little bit, and I haven't released it. So my fans are kind of mad now because it's definitely a cliffhanger, and people have been inboxing me and so forth and like, where's the rest of the story? You got me hanging here. And it's 2021. I haven't released it, but I'm going to release it probably September.
Okay, so Miss Donna, I have read a lot of books about entrepreneurship or what makes a person successful and tick is that they have to be a little delusional. They have to think the confidence to go out there and literally make the impossible possible. Where do you get this confidence from? Or how do you just think about okay, I'm going to do it. Okay, cool.
I would say it comes from my mom because she instilled in me that it's nothing that you can't do. If it's something that you really want to do, it can be accomplished.
Right.
You might not be able to do it the traditional way.
Okay.
But it can be accomplished.
Okay.
I never wanted to be an author. I just love reading books.
Right.
But once I wrote the short story, it was like, why can't you just expand? Why can't you just move on? So let me try it. And I'm not going to fail. I refuse to let myself fail. So once I wrote it, I was getting into this. I was like, this is really, really good. This is really good. I can actually do this. And it was smooth. It was just flowing. Right. So I actually have written 3 other books that I have not released yet because I have to release the sequel to this one first. But I have all the book covers already. They're already done. My graphic artist has already done it. And I already have the stories written. So now I decided that I was going to have book club meetings.
Okay.
And that's what I was doing here at the bar.
Okay.
Having book club meetings.
Okay.
When I ended up owning the bar. So it came with staff, which I was they were bartenders. They were the bartenders that I was going to get a drink. And now they work for me.
So that was what was that relationship like? Because that was a change of...
Total. So you can't be friends with your employees. You really can't.
Okay.
And so it's been a learning experience.
Okay.
You cannot be friends. You cannot be too personal. And that's hard for me because I kind of embrace people.
Right.
When I get close to you, I embrace you.
Okay.
I'm in actuality really not a people person. I like to be behind the scenes. I will do the world for you, but I don't really have to be around you and hang out with you and so forth.
Right.
I can,
right.
guide you in the right direction, anything that you need, but I don't have to actually be
right.
Present with you all the time. So because they were younger than me, the bartenders, they kind of took me as a mom figure. So I kind of embraced them as my children.
Yeah.
And the mothering part of me came in. And so I would take them on trips, take them to events, took them to the Jacquees concert.
You expose them.
Take them. Yeah,
just take them because I feel
like your family.
Right.
But in actuality, you kind of have to not cross the line.
Okay.
You have to kind of keep that boss-employee type relationship.
Yeah.
It's better that way.
Yes.
It's better that way because you don't get personal. You don't get into
emotional
feelings. Correct.
When they do something wrong, you want to go ham at them like they're your child.
Exactly.
And you be like, I know you can do better.
That. Right. And then you don't expect that from them because of all that you've talked about and all that you've gone through.
Right.
And then, because they're young ladies and young gentlemen, they make different lifestyle choices that you don't necessarily agree with.
Right.
And you see them going down a path as you would your own children.
And you want to pull them up.
You want to pull them back, but it's not your place. It's not your responsibility. And it gets a little,
hairy.
Right. So, and then you do get feelings because you feel like you should have said something. You feel like it's your fault and so forth. So I just learned going forward that I am very open. My employees know that they can come and talk to me about anything. Right. But I keep it strictly
for protection for both people. Exactly. Some people you could have that with, because not every people are that type of way, but you got to figure them out. You got to feel them out. Because some people, you be like, I can pour into you. I can do everything, but I can't, like Moses said, I can't take you to the water. I can't make you drink.
Exactly.
I can't do it. And I can basically, if tell me if I'm on the wrong path, but someone who is under you, it's kind of not hard to figure out how to hustle. Like after being under you, like you kind of.
I'm going to tell you, if you tell me that it's something that you want to do, I'm going to tell you an experience that I had or an avenue that I'm thinking you can take to get to where you're trying to go, or connect you with somebody that I know that's already doing it. So.
And that's rare as a Black woman. Not to have a crab in the barrel mentality. Why do you feel like we as Black women have that? Because you're one of the few rare ones, and literally, Miss Donna, backstory, how I met Miss Donna was basically, I was on Instagram on another show of one of the shows I have, And I was just like, hey, we have a new rum and it's really bomb. And I just want y'all to taste it. And I tagged her. Next thing you know, she said, meet me in Temple Hills. I said, okay, cool. And then we hit it off. And I was like, come to H Street. I said, came in the bar, fell in love with Miss Donna, and I've been here ever since. But like, she really opens the world to you in a sense of like, she brings you, you know, resources and talk to her. So like if you're under Miss Donna, you really gonna learn how to hustle because
absolutely
right.
And there's enough out here for everybody.
Okay.
You know, I was talking to another bar owner here on H Street, and she was saying that we really need to start a coalition with the bar owners and the bartenders because a lot of us feel like we're competing with each other,
right.
And we each offer something different on H Street. So it's no reason for us to compete
right.
with each other. And that's something that I'm hoping that she's going to spearhead and doesn't put it on my plate. But I'm all for it, you know, but it's so much money out here for everybody. But money doesn't motivate everybody.
Right.
At all. And so you have to really kind of figure out what it is that motivates you and then take that and expand on it.
So most people be thinking that like, you know, is it really hard to make money in your mind?
It's not hard to make it. It just might not come as fast as you want it to come.
Okay.
It might not come as fast as you want it to come. And a lot of times you have to spend a lot of money in order to make money. And if you don't have a side hustle or if you don't have a savings or, you know, a little under the mattress type money, then it's a strain.
Yeah.
It's definitely a strain. And especially for women, it's a lot of things that I'm still learning every day because I'm open, but I'm private. I don't share a lot of what I'm doing. And so I don't always find out about the different resources that are available.
Right.
Because during this pandemic, I found out that there's a lot of different grants that are out here for women-owned businesses, Black women-owned businesses. And you don't really know how to look for them. You have to actually be kind of like linked in to find out about these.
You gotta be in the clique. You gotta be in the team. Right.
And I ended up clicking on a couple of different people's pages and started seeing a trend of this grant situation. And, you know, they want you to go through a lot in order to get it. So you have to persevere. Like you really have to say, I'm going to get this and I'm going to push and do all of these different things. Because it's probably like 15 steps. Right. You know, you can't go halfway.
It's a marathon.
And it's a lot of seminars and different things that they want you to be able to do. And for me, it's hard because I have so many businesses going on that I'm not always able to just stop everything and just focus on this one thing.
Side note, Miss Donna's looking for assistance. She may not be able to pay what you might need, but if you a hustler and you want to learn the hustle, like out the bag, like out the mud, contact Miss Donna because Miss Donna going to teach you. Like, trust me.
Absolutely. You're going to learn. You're going to get more than money. How about that? You're going to get experience and connection. So it's well worth it.
Okay, so we got so many things to talk about. We still haven't even got to the rum. We haven't even got to the barbershop. we still here on that you own a bar on H Street. If anybody familiar with the DC, you know at one time H Street was Black owned. H Street was all Black, but it has gone through a gentrification process, and now H Street is very diverse. How is it being one of the maybe only Black women that owns a bar on H Street, especially in this climate of gentrification, Black Lives Matter, just the whole entire DC?
This has been an interesting journey.
Okay.
I know that I demand the respect, and a lot of the bar owners who I have come in contact with have congratulated me because I feel that their impression was that the Elroy wasn't going to stay open.
Did they doubted you because you were a Black woman? We can keep it real.
Yes, I believe that they did. As long as they knew that there was a man, the previous owner was a man, as long as they knew there was a man involved, they felt like it was going to be okay. But once they found out that I had actually purchased the bar, they felt like it wasn't going to. They're like, oh, you're still open. Every time I meet somebody, oh, you're still there? You guys are still open? yes, we're still here. We're still standing,
Right.
So I feel like I have to fight a little bit harder.
Right.
And not only because of my location, because I'm literally at the end of H Street.
Right.
I'm the last bar here. Langston's is further down, but that's considered Benning Road. So I'm literally like the last bar on H Street. And a lot of times people don't come down this far. So you don't really happen across Elroy's. You kind of have to already be on your way here.
Right.
Or if you couldn't find parking and you ended up parking on Maryland Avenue and decided to walk around and come, that's how you would stumble across Elroy's. So it's we have to fight all the way around.
Of course,
we have to do
women.
marketing, right? We have to do more marketing. We have to do more communicating with people, networking with other events, and letting Elroy sponsor events so that the name gets out there. And sometimes we have our bartenders outside with signs, little short shorts and signs.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do to let them know that we're here. Right, exactly.
It works,
So. Do car washes. We were doing gas giveaway at one point up the street.
Okay.
With the bartenders, just to let people know, we're here and we're for the community.
Okay.
So, anybody who contacts me about anything going on in our community, I'm always willing to jump in and help because I know that they don't know I'm here and I don't know that they're here. So, together,
y'all make it work.
We make it work.
Okay, so we talked enough about the bar. We're going to probably get back to the bar because I know everything mixed together because it's just like crazy. So before we go to the rum, because I know the story about the rum story, Durante Rum, really, is it 80%?
80 proof.
80 proof, so smooth. It's wonderful. It hits you in a very, we got to make sure, I'll buy a bottle today to make sure that my sound editor can taste it. It literally, it's smooth, but it hits you. And when it hits you, be like, oh my God, it really hit you. It's so wonderful. But so you was here at the bar. That's how you doing the books. And then that's how you own the bar. But then somebody came in.
Correct.
And was like,
a gentleman came in and he was telling me about a Black-owned whiskey. And he was a part of the investment group for the whiskey. And they were just trying to go to Black-owned establishments and to get the whiskey's name out there.
Okay.
So the whiskey wasn't actually in any location as of yet. So I agreed to put the whiskey on my bar.
Okay.
And I was excited for them because just to have a Black-owned whiskey here in the DMV. And I just kind of like took off and I created Whiskey Wednesdays and I was creating flyers and campaigning for them like it was my own, and I was like, I'm just so proud of you gentlemen. This is just the beginning and don't forget where you came from because you started here, but I said that this was something that I, as a teenager, I always thought about creating my own brand.
Right.
And as I got older and I started researching, I said, ooh, it's a little pricey. Maybe that's just going to be on my bucket list. I'm not going to be able to do this anytime soon, but, I can appreciate people who have done it.
Right.
So when I was talking to the gentleman, he said, it's not as bad as you think. He said, we found a way to be able to do what you're asking at a cheaper price. And I said, are you sure you can? He said, I'm sure. I'm telling you, we can do it. He said, we have a distillery. You have a recipe. You give us a recipe. We can work it out. And I took a chance.
Once again.
And I gave him my recipe. And next thing I know, they were bringing me samples of my rum. And it was amazing because I was like, this tastes just like, in my mind, I had created this recipe, tweaked it from my grandmother's recipe. Yes. So when I tasted it, I was like, oh my gosh, this tastes just like it,
Right.
So they gave me one that was 40% alcohol, 60% alcohol. And I said, this is too strong. I came back down. 40% makes it 80 proof.
Okay.
So that made it perfect.
Okay.
And I ran with it. And that's how Durante Rum was born.
Wow.
And we're going into our third year now.
Yes. Okay, but bring back the story because in Puerto Rico, you was talking about rum is so big
Yes,
in the
Puerto
culture of
Rico
rum.
and in the Caribbean itself. And my grandmother used to always make food and drinks for the workers coming in from the field.
Okay.
And they would always stop at her house first
And
to
the workers
eat.
were doing what? Like sugar
Sugar
canes?
cane,
Okay.
sugar cane. And they would always come in and bring her some sugar cane.
Mm-hmm.
They would always come to eat, to rest a little bit before they went home. And so, you know how people go to a bar for
Mm-hmm.
beer
Mm-hmm.
after work, they were kind of coming in and having food and drinks. And they didn't know what it was that she had in this barrel, but they were drinking. And I was like, what is it that she's making? Now I kind of figured out that it was moonshine,
Okay.
pretty much. But at the time, but it was made from sugarcane. So I started watching her and my aunt, and I remember spending summers there with them. And I didn't realize that it was really embedded in my brain how to make this.
Okay.
And so once I gave all of the ingredients to them and they created the rum, it was exactly the same.
How is it to have a product in your hand that's something that was in your mind or just something
That's
like, you know, your family makes it. Like, you know, it's just something like your family
and see,
makes
when
it.
we make it, we always put it in whatever bottle is available. So it might be a soda pop bottle, it might be a jug. It was just different things. But to actually see it here in DC and to see the bottle with my label, like when everything finally came together and the first shipment was delivered to me, I had to like really take a moment.
Right.
I mean, and cry because I couldn't believe like I really, really did this.
Right.
And I felt like I had to do it because my mom has passed away, my dad is gone, my grandparents, my aunts, everybody who was a part of this is not here anymore.
It's like a continuation of them.
It's a continuation. So I had to leave a legacy and I didn't want it to end with me.
Right.
So I wanted my children and my grandkids to be able to carry on the legacy of Durante because I was the only child.
Right.
So my name is, you know, it's not going anywhere else after me. So my children have Durante in their name.
Okay.
That's like their second middle name.
Right.
And my grandson has it in his as well. So that's the one thing that I ask, that they continue to
make sure that
name doesn't just die with me. Correct.
But that is just talking about generational wealth and stuff. What does generational wealth means to you? Because I just feel like you're creating all this wealth and that, you know, you're laying the seeds, but your grandchildren, your kids, it's Black people don't have generational wealth. We don't. And even when we do have a successful Black person, most of the time the next generation have to start over. So the fact that you're trying to pass this on, like, how do you just
I know that it was very important for my mom to she scrimped and saved and pinched, and you know, she did a lot. Now I understand what she was doing to help me. You know, she traveled a lot extensively. She took me to a lot of different countries. She said, I want to take you now so that in case when you get older and you're married with children, you're not able to go. You've already had this experience. You know, so we've been all over the world.
Wow.
So she took me on a journey of traveling and exposing me to different things. And I noticed that when you go to different countries, generational wealth, that's it. You know, the children or everybody's working in their craft.
Right.
You know, whatever the parents, the grandparents, you see everybody working together and they save together. You know, they shop together, they live together. Like, hey, this is what happens everywhere else. And I don't understand why we haven't picked up on it.
And it's cool because you have both perspectives. You have the perspective of American Black, but you also have a perspective from being Black not outside the country, because we know
Caribbean,
Caribbean. Explain that viewpoint, because most of the time, most people can't talk about both perspectives from a certain generation.
I feel like in the Caribbean, things are a little more lackadaisical.
Okay.
They work hard, but they've been taken over by tourism. So a lot of the stuff when I was growing up and they were working in the fields and so forth, a lot of that stuff is not happening now. So people that are my age remember, but people under us don't understand. They just went to the store and picked up stuff. where we were picking the mangoes off the trees and the guavas and the pineapples and the coconuts. We were doing all of that stuff and then bringing it in. So we worked so much harder than they do now. A lot of stuff is being shipped in from other islands.
Okay.
So you have stuff being imported in because people want to just focus on tourism. They want to get the tourists in and take them around, and everybody wants to be a taxi cab driver or an innkeeper or something like that. But they're not working the land. They're not working as hard. So the values and the beliefs started there, with my parents, and they kind of got washed away with this new generation.
Right.
So here in America, it depends on maybe where you're growing up, how it's instilled in you. In some areas, children are growing up with their parents on welfare. Okay. That's what they were born into. And the big thing is for them to have a baby and get on welfare also. And it just continues. Babies having babies, and, your mom has never worked.
Right.
Whereas me, I've never seen my mother not work.
Right.
My kids have never seen me not work. So I feel like it's never too late to change. No matter how you were raised, you can break the curse and you can start over and teach your children other things. I like to give them an opportunity. I like the children to always have a choice, whether they want to own their own business or whether they want to work for someone else. Now that I have become an entrepreneur overnight, a serial entrepreneur overnight, I don't know if I could ever actually work for somebody else again.
Why?
I would love to. I just don't have the time.
Okay.
But I don't know. I guess because I've conditioned myself to do things a certain way now. So, and all of this changed. All of this happened like in 2017. So this is new, right? This is new, but it really conditions you to setting your own hours and being able to just take off and do this and take off and do that. Whereas at work, you have to sit at a desk or you have a schedule per se to follow, and life doesn't always present itself that way anymore. Right. So now I'm able to see the entrepreneur side of things.
Does it expand your viewpoint on the world? Like I could conquer the world, kind of, basically?
Some days.
Okay.
Some days it does. Other days I just want to pull the cover over my head and say, let me sink in down here in the land down under. So some days it does. I do see that it's a lot of different things that I could really get involved in, but I'm a perfectionist. And because I like to do things in a manner with elegance, excellence, and I like to finish what I start, that I hate to kind of like jump around and do so many different things and it won't be complete.
Right.
And that would irritate me even more.
Okay.
That it's just not finished. It's incomplete. It's like dangling, like a dangling participle just hanging there. So.
Okay. So we're going to get to the barbershop. Right now we're on Durante Miller. We're on right now on the rum, which is phenomenal, by the way. Where can people buy this?
The rum is actually in 15 locations right now in the DMV. The first location was Lax Liquors,
okay.
Minnesota Liquors, and Kovacs. Those are the first 3 stores. If you go to www.duranterum.com, you can see all the locations on there. And also, anybody who has purchased the rum, most likely their picture is in the community page as well for the support.
Yes, my page is, I think my picture is my picture. Yes, my picture is on there. I was looking for it that day, but she took a wonderful picture of me. But okay, so what about DC? Because as you traveling the whole entire world, you have been probably around the country a couple times, just going to these places, but you love DC, the DMV so much.
I love DC. When I came down here to attend college, I had...
At the, hold up, illustrious Howard University. HU. You know.
When I came down here to attend college, this was my first time actually being away from home. And I lived a very sheltered life with my mom. So DC reminded me a lot of New York.
Okay.
The people were friendlier actually than New York. And I just decided like, I'm going to make it here. I'm going to make it. and I'm going to learn my way around the city. And it's been a lot of fun. Okay. And then when I realized that Maryland was just like a couple blocks away, I was like, this is amazing. I can go a couple blocks and I can be in Maryland. I could go a couple blocks this way. I could be in Virginia. Yes. I love this, and so I was able to go to Maryland and have grass and trees and the suburb. And then 10, 15 minutes, I'm back in DC.
Like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing. I said, okay, this is it. I love this. So now my mother was like, aren't you going to move back home? I'm like, no, I am home. I'm home. And, she would always say, you took my grandkids away from me. No, they were born here. They were born in Silver Spring. Like, this is our home. You need to come on down here and hang out with us.
So, have you been back home to Puerto Rico since you left?
Yes. I try to go every year. We didn't go this year because of COVID. Okay. But I do try to go to the Caribbean at least once a year. Okay. At least once a year.
No. This is just, Miss Donna, you're Superwoman, right? Like, not to hype you up, but you really do, like, a lot. So she is, like I said, she's a Howard woman. One thing I noticed, because we have had a couple people that are on this podcast that are Howard women. In my Howard experience, because right now I'm getting my master's at Howard, at the film school, is that Howard women lead. It's something different about us.
Absolutely.
Like, once you go through Howard, you hustle a little bit different than the average.
Absolutely.
Average Black women.
And we don't take no for an answer.
No, we don't. And we figure out how to do it out the mud.
Absolutely. There's no possible way that you can have been taught anything at Howard and not have that drive in you. Yes. Not have that hustle in you. And even customers actually that come in here, and whenever I do find out that they're from Howard, I do give them free shots because I'm like, yeah, you've been through the mud like me. So, but when I talk to the women that come in here, and even the men, actually, the determination that is in them, I know is based on their experiences at Howard.
It's like how they breed us is I don't know. Like right. I'm in the process of being breed right now, but it's like everybody tells me you grind a little different now. It's a whole different type of conversation. And no matter even if you don't use your degree or not, you just know how to.
You just know how to do it. You know how to do it.
So with also being a Howard woman, and knowing how to grind and hustle, you have to implement a lot of system of operations. I think people try to romanticize entrepreneurship and don't understand that, like, you got to worry about overhead. You got to worry about how much income's coming in, how much is going out. You have to worry about resources, technology. Like, how do you constantly stay on top of that? Because I know it's a lot and overwhelming.
How do I constantly stay on top of it? I don't sleep a whole lot. I do most of my work late at night researching and reading emails and networking with other people. And I basically had to teach myself about the bar. I had to teach myself about the whole bar. You had no resources,
business. Nobody telling you how to do this.
No.
You just had to figure it out.
They showed me a couple of little things here and there. And it's like, just call us if you have any questions. So, I would talk to people and I'm wondering like, well, why were they doing it this way? If this could be done this way. And, so I've had to find my niche and figure out what works best for me. And I don't trust a whole lot of people with a whole lot of things. So I end up doing a lot of stuff myself. So it's time consuming. I have had to separate my days and say, okay, today I'm going to focus. This first half of the morning is going to be on Durante Rum. And I do all my own marketing and promo. The next half of the day is going to be on Organics Cuts. I do all my marketing and promo, so forth there. Then the later part is going to be the Elroy. I do all my marketing and promo. So that's how I start off the day, thinking that that's how it's going to happen. It doesn't always work out that way. Right. Because you're going to get a phone call at 10 a.m. about something going on with the Elroy, which flips everything around. Right. Then I had to really learn about customer service. I've always been big on customer service, but it's customer service to a different level, and common sense, because common sense is not common at all for people. And it frustrates me sometimes because, you'll get somebody calling and saying, I want to have a Sweet 16 party for my daughter at the bar. And I'm like, ma'am, it's a bar. You have to be 21.
Right.
Oh, well, I mean, even if we lock the doors and ma'am, it's a bar. You have to be 21.
I can lose my license
I
and
can lose
everything.
my life. What is going on?
This is not an event space. It's
It's
a
not an
bar.
event space, correct? So, these are the phone calls that you're fielding all day long.
Mm-hmm.
How old do you have to be? And I'm like, it's a bar. You have to be 21.
Right.
Well, are you 18 and up? Well, what if I'm going to be 21 in 2 months? Look, it's a bar. You
Right.
have to be 21.
Right.
It's a lot of things that people want to. What I found in this business is that you have to know the law for yourself. You have to know what ABRA's rules and regulations are. People will try to flip and bounce and tell you different things, but you yourself have to know and research and find out for yourself. People want to try to have edible dinners. What do you call it? Infused
culinary cannabis,
cannabis, right? Infused, and it's not legal. It's not legal in DC. It's not legal. As much as you want to do that in your house, that's fine. But once you get into a public space and it's a bar with a license, you can't have these type of things. And sometimes I run into not asking enough questions. So I have to really now, when someone calls, I have to have a strict let me ask you all of these questions first before we agree to this event, because I did rent the space out to somebody and was unaware that that was what they were planning on having, a whole cannabis infused situation. And we can't do it. The finest little thing can get me shut down, and especially because I'm a Black bar owner, and especially because I'm a woman. We're targeted first.
Twice.
They will, twice, exactly. We're targeted because they don't want us here.
Right.
The reality of the situation is they really don't want us to succeed. So, you have to really, really dot all your I's and cross all your T's and research everything for yourself. And that's probably why I don't have an assistant right now, because I would have to delegate it in small,
doses,
fractions, right? So they could learn. Exactly.
So basically, you're building your own table. Like, I constantly find I'm attracted or linked with people that are constantly building their own table. The table, it's not they're pulling a seat to the table. It's no, screw that. I'm building
my own. Correct.
And taking up space in the world. How do you balance it all? Because I know it's the up days, the down days. It's the around with doing all that.
Pray.
Faith. Walk by faith, not by sight.
Walk by faith. Absolutely walk by faith. Every day, because a lot of times you say, I don't know how this is going to work, but I know, God, you got a bigger plan than me. So, your plan, my plan might not have anything to do with the plan that you have for me. So I definitely walk by faith. I talk to my pastors a lot. I know that they always encourage me. They always encourage me. They've never kind of made me feel any kind of way. I always let them know ahead of time what I'm about to venture into. I said, Pastor,
the congregation comes
I said, Pastor, I don't want you to hear this out in the congregation. So let me just let you know now. I got a bar. Let me let you know now. I got a rum. Let me let you know. So, and they guide me and they open my eyes to a lot of things. So they're not judgmental at all, and that has strengthened me. And every time I feel like I'm sort of wavering, I go back to some of the teachings that I have learned from them, as well as, my parents. And I know that it's a way to get around stuff. And, I'm going to leave my mark.
Yes.
In this world, one way or the other. So, having the legacy from my children, I'm not going to be forgotten easily.
Right.
So, and that makes me feel good.
So, one more question before we got to talk about the barbershop, because then you're going to most women want to own salons, but you own a barbershop. But one more question before we go into the barbershop. Representation is very important to you. What do you hope for women to get by seeing you on a bottle or seeing you at the bar all the time?
I want women to know that it's possible, that anything is possible. And whether it be a rum, a vodka, a brandy, a wine, it's possible. It could just be your shampoo, or a conditioner or something like that you feel you can do. It's possible. It's ways to go about it. Talk to me. Don't be afraid. Don't be envious. Talk to me. Glean from me. Find out what's going on, because I'm going to tell it. I keep no secrets. I want everyone to succeed. So if you have a dream and I can help you get to that dream, here we go. I want to see a lot of women up there, on their dais. When I was told that I was the first Black woman that has ever created and distilled and distributed her own rum, I was like, what? They was like, you made history. And I was like, what? And then when they started doing research, I was like, let me check this out myself. I don't believe it. When I looked, I said, no other woman has ever done it.
Hold on. So you telling me no other woman has ever... Wow. Rum. Okay. Whoa. So now you're in the books for real.
Right. No other woman has ever done it. And I was like, wow, I never thought I would make history. But look, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm ready. And I want to see some other women up there doing it, So it's a first. It's a lot of firsts that can happen. So I want to pull some other women up by their bootstraps. Come to the table. There's plenty of seats here.
Yeah.
Come on to the table.
No, but... And especially if anybody knows about the liquor business, like no shade to Diddy and no shade to a lot of your favorite celebrities, they may be ambassadors, they may have equity in the company, but they're not owners and founders. So what Miss Donna just did is major, because even your favorite song, and they promote it most of the time, except for a very few, do not own it. She owns it. She creates it. It's hers completely, 100%.
Absolutely.
Which is literally amazing. And all right, so we can wrap this up, because I could talk to Miss Donna all day, as you can see, because I'm constantly picking her mind. Let's talk about the barbershop. How in the world... we have the rum, we have the bar, the barbershop? How did that come apart?
So I have an adopted brother.
Okay.
And him and his wife had a barbershop, and they decided that they wanted to go in a different direction. And I felt like maybe that was just a decision that they had done right now, and maybe a decision that they might feel differently about later on.
Okay.
So I didn't want them to sell it to somebody outside of our family, per se. His mother basically adopted me when I came to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
She took me under her wing, adopted me. She was my second mom.
Okay.
So I grew up with him.
Okay.
So when I say I'm an only child, but I have an adopted brother, that's him. So when they talked about selling the barbershop, I said, I will buy it.
Right.
And I also said to them, at any point, if you want it back, you can have it back.
Right.
So I want to keep it here in the family, just in case you decide to switch around and do something else later on. So at the time, my son was saying that he was looking for something to invest in. Star was looking for something to invest in. I said, okay, well, this would be perfect. You guys can just jump in here and do what you do.
Right.
So Star at one point wanted to become a barber. Okay. And he was going to attend barber school, what have you. And things shifted and changed a little bit. And now he has split the barbershop in half.
Okay.
And we have Precious Custom Tees in the barbershop.
Wow.
So we have a t-shirt
Hold
shop.
on.
In the barbershop.
So we now have t-shirts. This is fourth. This is your... Okay. Continue on. Yes.
So we have Precious Custom Tees in the barbershop. Because I said it didn't make sense to rent another space.
Okay.
And have to pay rent on a whole nother
lease.
Right. And this way you don't need a manager per se for the barbershop, because you're in there.
Right.
So we just kind of split it down the middle. When you walk in the door, he has the left side. He does the rest in peace t-shirts. People need family reunion type shirts, masks that match the shirts. And, that's his whole thing there. That's his niche. So he has that side. And then we have the barbers on the opposite side.
And how many barbers do you have? Because you have to run them, manage them too.
So we have one full-time barber, 2 part-time barbers, and we have an amazing young man. His name is Tamon Rollins. Okay. And he's a wig maker.
Oh, wow.
And he makes fabulous wigs. He just did a wig for one of the reality shows, Housewives of something or the other. But he just did a wig for them. So he is amazing.
Wow.
He does wigs, and he does a great job of coloring. And he ended up working there because one of the gentlemen cuts his hair.
Wow. Okay.
So one of the barbers cuts his hair, Now he has a booth there. He does mink lashes as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're now able to advertise more services than just, the barber shop. So it's coming along. We have a young lady who is about to start there. She does microblading or something. And I'm not really familiar with all of these services, but she has clientele, and it's something with the eyebrows and so forth, and people love it, and they love it. I love it. So,
all right, wow. All right, so if anything you learned from this interview is that the impossible is really possible. That build your own table. That Black women take up space, boo boo. Take it up fully. Miss Donna, any last things before we close out this interview?
I just want to let everybody know that it's possible to be an entrepreneur, be a mother, be a sister, be a wife, and all of those things are possible. You just have to learn how to categorize, departmentalize everything, and just have a plan and stick to your plan. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. Don't stray. Even when things get rough, just dig your heels in a little bit deeper and stick with it, because it's possible.
Well, that's a wrap. Thank you for listening to another episode of Wow. Please tune in, comment, and share. Wow is available on Apple, Spotify, and Google. Also follow us on IG at _wildhuman, WILDHUMAN _. Ms. Donna, shout out all the Instagram pages for all the business you have.
We have Durante Rum on Facebook, Durante Rum on Instagram, www.duranterum.com website, Elroy H Street DC on Instagram, the new Elroy Bar DC on Facebook, Organic Cuts Barbershop on Instagram, Organic Cuts Barbershop on Facebook, PreciousCustomTees.com, Precious Custom Tees on Facebook and Instagram.
Inside all of us is hope. Inside all of us is fear. Inside all of us is adventure. Inside all of us is a wild thing. Maurice Sendag. Thank you guys, and that's another episode of Wow. Tune in next time. All right, bye. Peace.